कृपालय भवाम्बुधिनिमग्नम् दैत्यवरकाल नरसिंह नरसिंह पादकमलावन तपातकी जनानाम् पादकदवानलपतत्रिवरकेतो भावन परायण भवार्तिहरयामाम् पाहि कृपयैव नरसिंह नरसिंह तुङ्गनकपङ्कितलितासुरवराश्रिते पङ्कणवकुङ्कुमविपङ्किलमहोरः पण्डितनिधानकमलालय नमस्ते पङ्कजनिषण्ण नरसिंह नरसिंह.
So, first off, please bear in mind that Lord Nrsingadev is one of the Das Avatar, one of the principal avatars of Krishna. It is mentioned a number of places, particularly Lord Chaitanya's teaching to Sanatana Goswami, that there are more incarnations of Krishna than there are waves on the ocean. So, how many is that? It's an infinite number. Krishna has 64 qualities, but actually Krishna has an infinite number of qualities, not just 64. Whatever the infinite has, he has infinitely. An infinite number, it just depends on how the quality is being seen and perceived, but an infinite. So it is not that Krishna only has 10 incarnations, that Krishna has an infinite number of incarnations. But 10 have been selected as the most principal. But you'll find in Chaitanya Charitamrita there's a list of 25 principal incarnations. Then within the 25, 10. So it goes like that. So amongst Gaudiya Vaishnavas and other Vaishnavas at the current time, Lord Nrsingadev is like important. Means we take a liking to Lord Nrsingadev. But previous to Lord Nrsingadev, there was who? To protect the devotees. Who was there? Who would kill the demons? Who? Varaha. Varaha Dev. So when Prahlad is praying to Krishna for protection, who's he actually praying to? He's praying to Vishnu, who he knows in a previous incarnation appeared as Varaha Dev. But Prahlad per se is not a devotee of Krishna. He is a Vaikuntha devotee. Where are the devotees of Krishna? They're in Vrindavan. Do not mix everything up in a khichdi. Krishna consciousness is not Havishan, mixing all things in one goop. It is not like that. There's distinction. Sometimes people, when they do tapasya, when they eat prasad or food, whatever, what do you call it? Utta. When they eat their utta, they mix it all together in one big mush. Why do they do that? If you look around, you'll see in some ashrams, there would be some time, Chaturmasya particularly, and you'll see, especially if you go up north in places like Hardwar, Rishikesh, and if you're observant and you walk around, you'll see different things, and surely, for sure, you'll see this sadhus eating and mixing everything up. What happens when you do that? There's no taste. The taste is gone. Whenever separate, everything has its taste. Shak has its taste, chapati has its taste. Even plain rice with nothing on it, it has its taste. So when there's this individuality, when there's this specified distinction, then there's taste. So there is no rasa, there is no taste in lumping everything together. So generally, people think of God, and we do this often ourselves also, just like the sky. You look up at the sky at night and, look at the sky. It's all the same. But then you start to notice, oh look, this star is brighter than this one. Oh look, this group of stars looks like something. Looks like a spoon, or looks like a scorpion. It looks like something, right? But in the beginning you just look up and it's just all these stars. And nothing, and there's some general appreciation. Oh, look, it's so big. It's so, look, some awe is there. But then when we begin to pay attention, And we single out certain things. Some plane of interest develops. It becomes more interesting, more intriguing, more capturing. So if we think about everything, oh, God is all one, that is not very tasteful. Really, in the end, that is not very attractive. That is not very encompassing. That is not very absorbing. And therefore, you see most of the Mayavad types of people, even the Mayavad sannyasis themselves, they're absorbed not in transcendence, but in material welfare work, in counting the money of their mutt, and a whole bunch of other things. But they're not absorbed. They talk about Brahman, they talk about it's all one, but they are not absorbed in Brahman, because it is not very attractive. On one side, Brahman has got attraction. But on the other side, because the material world has so many categories, distinction and variety, yes, for the aspirant, it is very captivating, Maya. And if you're simply aspiring for Brahman, well, then Maya is quite a competition. How you'll become absorbed there, how you'll forget this Mayic world and remember that one substance. Very, very difficult. Therefore, no one getting Brahman realization, only talking about Brahman, doing mundane work, doing just all types of activities in this material world, but not getting to Brahman. But the aspirant, we're all the aspirant. When we talk about Krishna, there's so much variety. When we talk about Vishnu, there's so much variety, variegatedness. There will be something there to attract you for sure. It may be Krishna's just outstanding beauty. It may be Krishna's philosophy of Bhagavad Gita. It may be Krishna's heroism, or his inconceivableness that he has so many incarnations and so many Vaikuntha planets and so many planes of his manifestations, which are, in a sense, we say in English, dimensions. It will definitely catch you. There's something to catch everyone, but in Brahman, there's nothing to catch anyone. And therefore it is a failed system. But if one does find Brahman, oh yes, that is more beautiful than this world. This mundane variegatedness cannot compete with the spiritual effulgence of Krishna or Vishnu. Cannot compete. But when you're trying to get to that, Maya will win. The competition will be won by Maya, you see. But there are some few rare souls like the Char Kumars, 4 Kumaras. They had this Brahman realization, and they were indifferent to the world. They had nothing to gain, nothing to lose in this world. But when they came in touch, some people say it was the tulsi, some people say it was the incense, but the point was when they came in touch with the lotus feet of Vishnu, just in that way, then this became more attractive to them. So, Brahman is superior to the variegatedness of this material world, but the variegatedness of Vishnu and Krishna is superior to the all-oneness, blissfulness of Brahman. You follow? So Krishna consciousness must always be looked at and dealt with and participated in with this discerning eye. This is called Madhyamadikari. It is not all one. We must see a difference. We must learn in the beginning what is clean, what is not clean. Like who didn't wipe their feet when they came in here? It is not all one. This nice clean floor and that wet one out there with all the nice dust of Govindaji Gardens, not the same. So when you cross from one to the other, you have to, in your mind, yes, I am crossing here. Wipe my feet, I'm coming to another thing. Now that might seem mundane, and in a sense it is. Well, a lot of people haven't even organized their mundane variegatedness. Then how the heck they'll ever come to spiritual variegatedness? Like, who is the famous Jud Bharat? His father used to train him. You go to field for toilet, pass in water, he said, you come and wash your hands. And Jud Bharat used to wash his hands, then go for pissing. His father thought, puggle, crazy. He could not even organize him. So if you can't organize yourself in the material world, then we call you crazy. Well, Jud Bharat wasn't crazy, he was an avadut. He was above the necessity of discrimination, even cleanliness. It is said that Rishabh, he also came to that stage. He used to lie down on his own stools. Now, if you see a man or a woman on the road, you see them sometime, they're crazy because the government has no care. Society doesn't care for these people. There's no institution for them. They roam around like wild animals. And you see them sometimes. They're covered in stool. They're oblivious. That means they're mentally disturbed. But when one is situated in transcendence, he may become and may show us total oblivion to this material world, even to the point of laying down on one's own stool and not being disturbed by that. But it is mentioned that the stool of Rishabdev would smell like roses for up to 5 kilometers. Now, a lot of people tried to imitate Rishabdev. They did. The Jains are an imitation of Rishabdev. This Bahubali is supposed to be the brother of Bharat, means he must be son of Rishabdev. And they follow from Rishabdev. But that is not following, that is imitation. Of course, they don't lay down on their stools, but they try to perform the kind of activities, especially I think it's the Nigambas. They walk around naked. Because Rishabdev, he entered a state of consciousness. He's oblivious whether he's wearing clothes or not wearing clothes. It's irrelevant to him. But they tried to imitate this. This was, Prabhupada used to make a joke. He said there are 2 things that came out from imitation of Rishabdev. Jainism and hippies. Hippie was a class of young people in USA in the 1960s and 70s. And one of the things they gave up was taking bath. So there's some class of these Jains, they also give up bath. But bath, cleanliness, is a necessary discrimination for one who is aspiring for advancement in spiritual life. So we cannot imitate something from a higher goal. That is not how you get there, you see. How do you become a doctor? By opening a clinic? Oh, you've heard, surgeons, they make good money. Let me open it, get a few knives and a table here. Come, sir. And slice the guy. And then this is how you become a doctor? And in this way you'll become wealthy? No, you'll become famous as a madman and you'll be imprisoned. So, but how do you become a doctor? Theoretically, you have to study a lot of books. It takes a long time. You know, you can become, an engineer or something in 3 or 4 or 5 years, but doctors take, upwards of 6, 8, 9, 10 years. It takes more. So, if it takes you 10 years to become a doctor, how long could it take you for self-realization? Which doctors are categorized as barbers. That's all. Surgeons are another type of barber. That's all. Barbers. Huh? Like I told you, engineers are what? Silicon grease monkeys, right? It's nothing. It's just machines. It is not higher studies at all. It is yantra gyan. It is said that somebody wanted to give Arjuna this yantra gyan. Mayadanava. Then Krishna thought, don't take that. You know why? Krishna told him, don't take it. Made in India. Because it's just, he said, it's Kali Yuga knowledge. Krishna said, this is knowledge for Kali Yuga, this machineries. You see. It is not transcendental Brahmagyan. Brahmins, Vaishnavas, devotees were after Brahmagyan, spiritual knowledge, transcendental knowledge. By this Yantragyan, we think we'll live forever. We think that, death is coming. And we're old, 80, and jump in a Maruti ambulance and run to hospital. And have a collision on the way. This is the sign now. At any stage of life, you're old, you go to hospital. That means, what is hospital? That is the go down of all those long needles, all those expensive liquids in bottles, all those machines there. And by that you'll be saved. By that you'll live. Look how much of our life is spent in machines. The kitchen has machines, fridges going on, mixing machine, grinding machine, generator machine, bore well pump machine, car machine, a bicycle's a machine. Machines, everything is everywhere you look. These machines, they all kind of combine together, they make a noise. which that vibration disturbs our mental well-being and our health. Huh? Whereas this vibration gives good well-being to your mind and to your body. Chirping of birds has never been ascertained to give disturbance in the vibration of the heart or the mind or any such thing. Where do they take people when they get all freaked out? They take them to these nice mental homes in the country, where they get the sound treatment, where they get the environmental treatment, you see. So, this yantra gyan, ultimately it simply brings death. And the higher it goes, the more death and mass death it can give. Weapons of mass destruction are what? They're the culmination of machine making in Kali Yuga. That's where it culminates. Like I tell about these cell phones, I tell these boys, use your plug. Don't stick that phone on your head. You're going to take tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of calls in your life. Well, then how do you think you'll survive it? I told Keisha, if there's a queue, there's so many thousand guys standing in the queue, maybe 5,000 guys, 10,000 guys. And everybody's given a biscuit. But one of those biscuits, it's got poison on it. Will you happily stand in that queue? No thanks. Why go in that queue? It's only 1 in 50. It'll never be you, or you, or you, or you, or you, or you. And you go down and go, it couldn't be you, couldn't be you, couldn't be 50. But you were wrong for somebody. Or one of the biscuits is poison and someone dies. So these phones, they don't give everybody brain cancer. They don't give everybody tumors. They're 1 in 50,000, stuff like that. It happens. So be careful about this modern, convenient age. It will kill you outright. And I already know several people. I know them in my life. Already died from these phones. Cars? Oh, long list. Long list. Huh? The world is a dangerous place. You know, 5 boys drowned in one day in Gosai Ghat. Huh? And while 3 of the relatives were coming to hospital in emergency speed, they hit a truck and they died on the way. Well, what is this world? It's a dangerous place. Be careful. Everywhere. So, that's how, in Krishna consciousness, that discrimination we have. Other people say, well, that's the life. What type of life that is? That's the life. That's the waste of life. Huh? That's the stupidity in life, the ignorance of life. Save yourself from this. We develop a discrimination, and we see in that discrimination, yes, the material world is a dangerous place. So many other religions, they try to gloss over this. They even try to say, no, this world is the kingdom of God. Nonsense. They will say, but what you are saying Vrindavan is the kingdom of God. Kingdom of God, yes, but it's the Dodge City. It's the, roaring 20s of the material world. It's one of the most dangerous places in this world is Vrindavan. There are so many gundas in Vrindavan. There are so many murders in Vrindavan. Huh? So when you go to Vrindavan, your head in a cloud like, oh, I'm in Braj, I'm in Braj. Yeah, well, in that Braj, there's a lot of gundas hanging around. Remember, in that Braj, the asuras can enter. They come there. And they come there to attack Krishna, the demons. And they come there to attack Krishna's devotees. Well, people forget about this. That Vrindavan, which you can get a train ticket to, that is called Gokul. And in Gokul, the demons appear. Bhaktivinoda went there once, and he didn't just roll his head and think, oh, I'm in Braj, I'm in Braj. He saw what was going on. He had a powerful influence that time because of his magistrate's position down here in Puri. And so he used his influence, his connections, and he brought in a division of the British Army and wiped out those dacoits. Wiped them out. Well, we didn't do a body count, but what's it mean? When the army comes and the dacoits are there? Yeah, certainly, somebody got killed. He wiped them out. Got rid of him. He's Paramahansa, but he's in this world. He's acting with an eye of discrimination. If anything plagues Vrindavan, in my experience, it's a lack of discrimination. Everybody wants to talk about Krishna's Leela there. It's not a new thing. It may be a new thing in Western circles, but when I was living in Vrindavan 30 years ago, That's one perception that I got. The biggest problem is no one's really preaching. No one's telling don't eat eggs. No one's telling you don't go for abortion. No one's telling any of the real things necessary in this life. They think, oh, we're in the bridge and nothing ever, and nothing matters, and everything is Krishna's Leela. That's all nonsense philosophy. They're not doing any preaching there. Simply pretending Rasa Leela dramas, you see. And then the people simply going to hell, and all unwanted activities growing there. So, maintaining your discrimination is something you must always do in this material world, even in the holy Dham. And remember it in that way, yeah. In that holy Dham, even the demons can enter. Bad things can enter. Therefore, be prepared. Do not be in some dreamy land. Things may attack you there. So, we're always discriminating and everything to find our way to the safer ground of Krishna's lotus feet. That is the purpose of this discrimination which devotees exercise. Now the demons, they have some other type of discrimination. They see, these are my enemies. They see the defects in the material world, and they want to solve those defects by eliminating those things, disease. They want hospitals, more medicine, no disease, no chance. If you do a history of disease, you'll see there's just as many diseases now as there ever was. It's just, some people say, oh, well, you know, there was Black Plague, and so many people died in Europe. Say, there's AIDS. So many people are dying in Europe. You know, 1 in 3 people have AIDS in the whole of Africa. There are plagues all over the world right now. Cancer, heart disease, and AIDS. It's practically what kills everybody. There's 2 or 3 plagues going on, and everyone's dying from it. And then there's the plague of old age. That got right down to the last person, right? No one has escaped. No one has escaped death. People have prolonged death. But have they prolonged it, or just didn't come yet? When it comes, there's no prolonging. It's over. So this idea will eliminate all disease, will eliminate all hunger, will eliminate all these things. What? They see these are the problems that disturb their enjoyment. They want to eliminate these things. We see enjoyment is the cause of these disturbances. We want to eliminate that and recognize Krishna as the supreme enjoyer. We are his eternal servant, and it's like, whew, we're 99% out of this material world right there. Right at that moment. Always keep this consciousness. We're 99% home, back to Godhead. Now we just have to tolerate that 1% being in this world. Leave this world with that consciousness. We're home free. Back to home, back to Godhead. But the demons are always trying to solve the problem. As soon as they're like the guy there's a hole in the pot, and he puts his finger here. Then there's another hole in the pot, he puts his here. He doesn't see another hole in the pot, he sticks his nose. The material world makes a monkey out of him, makes a fool out of him. Still he goes on patching, let go of this one, stick this one, and if you painted the world according to what they're doing, it's just millions of holes with Band-Aids stuck on it. No solution. Never have had a solution to the problems of the material world. Well, Hiranyakashipu was one such person with materialistic vision, Hiranyakashipu. And he saw that death is a problem. Death means the end of everything that I want. The end of my power, the end of my kingdom, whatever. Maybe at that time he didn't even have a kingdom. I don't know the details of that story, but he saw that even if I do, death is my greatest enemy. So let me conquer death. So he set about doing his austerities. Here's one, somebody has given a nice picture. He set about doing his austerities of some sort. Tapasya, not just for a few days, half-day fasting. You know, he stayed in his tapasya until the anthill grew around him. Which reminds me, you see, there's some stories how Vishnu came in an anthill. Well, maybe, probably, in a few places. Seems like a lot of places. But also Hiranyakashipu can be found in the anthill. So in this age, you see these people worshipping anthills. This is the age of Mahaprabhu in the holy name. And they're not worshipping Mahaprabhu, then what's in their anthill? Hiranyakashipu, the demons. They're worshipping the demons. I don't know, they have some idea Vishnu's in the anthill, cobras in the anthill. You turn around, a cobra bites you, you die. You know? They're actually being deluded by some demoniac thinking. So he did these austerities, and then when he got the attention of Brahma, Brahma's the principal demigod, and he asked for his boon. I should be free from death. Brahma thought, no chance. Even I, he said, even Brahma, I am dying. That is not possible. Then he used his intelligence, not in any correct way. Well then, the correct way would have been, he said, oh, I'm doing this, I want to be in this world, but this world, even Brahma, death is everywhere, everyone has to die. Well, why I want? He could ask Brahma, and why I want to live forever? Then Brahma could have told him, yes, because that is the nature of the soul. But Hiranyakashipu didn't believe in the soul. He believed in himself, means his body and mind, intelligence. He didn't believe really in the soul, in eternality of the soul. Okay, so he didn't believe in the soul, and he didn't, and therefore that's where the beginning, the soul, and where the soul comes from, and what is there for fulfilling the desire of the soul? Oh, that is Vaikuntha. Their life is eternal, no death. How do I get to Vaikuntha? That's how fortunate souls progress in their thoughts and questions. But he wasn't so fortunate, and he's the character, the typical atypical demon. So then, okay, let me try anyway. Okay, well, how to die, where to die. So he had in mind how his brother was killed by Varaha. Hiranyaksha was his name. Hiranyaksha. So he thought his brothers basically achieved an elevated status. Then he thought, okay, I've got up to... So then he worded himself, you see. I should not die in day or night. Well, that's all the world's made out of. It's day or it's night. Day and night. But then you can, magnify. And then, oh, actually there's a part called twilight. But look at this. Is it day? If you woke up inside a hotel room, you go, is it day or night? You don't go, is it day, night, twilight, or dawn, dusk? Or, yeah. You don't mention four things, do you? The nature of the world, you think day and night. But actually there are four things. There's day, night, halfway beginning, and halfway ending. So dusk is ending and dawn is beginning. But he didn't think like that. He thought day and night. I won't die in day and night. Okay, you won't die in day and night. You have that boon. Huh? Then I won't die on land, sea, or sky. Yeah. Because that's all there is. You're in the air, you're on the land, or you're in the water. Got it. Like that. I won't be killed by any man or any beast. You see, Vishnu's man, Narayana, and in the form of Varaha, he was full beast. From nose to tail, he was Varaha, the boar. So he thought, no man, no beast. Right? He couldn't think, half man, half beast will come. So he's trying to use his intelligence and outsmart the design of the Supreme Lord. The design is, yes, there is death in this world. It is inescapable. But there is a place where there is no death, and I promise that place to you. That is the place of all liberated souls. Huh? So, but he's not a devotee, therefore he doesn't have the blessing of that kind of intelligence to think in that way. He goes in another way. So then what did he say? Then day, night, by any weapon. By any weapon. Because he knows at different times the demons have been killed by the chakra of Vishnu. So he prepared his vow that he is immortal. Then he said about destroying the demons. He destroyed demons. He destroyed everything in his path. It's not that demons only attack devotees. They attack each other. They kill their own family members. And he tried to kill Prahlad. Prahlad was a devotee born in a demoniac family. Now everybody will accept Bhakta Prahlad across India. Is there any Vaishnava, anybody smart, anybody doesn't recognize Bhakta Prahlad? Is there anybody? No, everybody will recognize Bhakta Prahlad. What's his caste? His caste is Asura. That's his caste. He's demon. His caste is Asura. what, you think Hiranyakashipu was married by some Vedic Homa Sanskara? I don't think so. So in one sense, by certain Vedic standards, maybe he's even an illegitimate son. Who knows? Unless there's Vedic Sanskara for marriage, then that's not a marriage. Anyway, it can be looked at in a number of ways, but definitely his father is Asura. And it's doubtful whether he was born in India also. Those people that argue you have to be born in India to be devotee of Krishna or something like that. Some people give you have to be born in Udupi even. It gets really tight. You have to be born in Dakshin Kannada or something. So, but there are prime examples, not born in any kind of, even within the caste. What to speak of out the caste, you see. So, that is just something to be remembered there. So, but the demon was ready to kill his, he was ready to kill his own son, who was a devotee by nature, due to his having some association with Narada Muni. That's a detail of the story, but he had this piety, Sukriti, this fortune. He had some association with Narada Muni before he was born. And that goodness came to him, and he had a natural attraction to, we say to Krishna, but means to the Supreme Lord. And he was disinterested in the studies of this world and would always engage his friends in school and everything that will chant the names of Vishnu or Krishna and some spiritual activities. And his teachers complained. He doesn't learn his lessons. He doesn't study these things. His father wanted him to learn what? Diplomacy, sword fighting, all these things, so he could rise up, be a powerful demon, destroy his enemies, like that. But Prahlad didn't do well in those studies. And so the teachers complained about it. And lastly, Hiranyakashipu himself confronted Prahlad about this, And a confrontation arose between father and son. And the son tried his best to tell his father about the all-powerful Supreme Lord, but his father didn't want to hear it. To the point, he tried to kill Prahlad. He sent demons to get him. There's the demons, some of the Rakshasas, they're coming to get him, but somehow they were unable to pierce his body. He threw Prahlad off of a cliff to his death, disposed of him in this way. He gave him poison to eat, all types of different things. He tried to dispose of his son, but in every time there was some miracle that the child survived. Not that he just survived like the car crash or something. He was unharmed completely. The poison had no effect. The daggers didn't puncture his body. The hurled from the cliff did not hurt him. Here in this picture shows Krishna is saving him. This is because we're preaching Krishna. But actually not Krishna. Vishnu saved him. So then the father and son come back to a one-on-one confrontation. And the father then becomes excessively angry, even beyond his already, insanity to want to kill his own son. He goes beyond that, you see. He goes beyond that. And the problem with anger is, well, you can be angry for Krishna, and sometimes anger is there. But when anger overwhelms us, then we lose our intelligence. So Hiranyakashipu, he becomes so angry, finally he loses whatever intelligence he has. And he becomes completely irrational. I guess at that point you can say he's trying to kill Prahlad. He becomes so angry. Then he becomes frustrated. He becomes very frustrated, and he starts to ask Prahlad about his God. And he asked him at a point, well, where is your God? Where is this God of yours? Prahlad tells him, well, he's everywhere. And then he turns to this pillar. Hiranyakashipu turns to this pillar and says, well, is your bloody God here in this pillar? Yeah, he's there too. He's there also. He's everywhere. So then Hiranyakashipu, he attacks the pillar. He strikes a horrible blow upon this pillar. So, anyway, Where did that go? Okay. 443. Whew. Well, it takes so long to read every verse. But, so he struck this pillar. Then there was this tumultuous sound. I mean, a big sound. While Hiranyakashipu looked all around to find the source of the sound, that wonderful form of the Lord, which could not be ascertained to be either man or lion, emerged from the pillar. In amazement, Hiranyakashipu wondered, what is this creature that is half man, half lion? So, some description of Nrsingadev's appearance there. Then Hiranyakashipu realizes, Lord Vishnu, who possesses great mystic power, has made this plan to kill me. But what is the use of such an attempt? Who can fight with me? Thinking like this and taking up his club, Hiranyakashipu attacked the Lord like an elephant. So the beautiful description of Lord Nrsingadev's face, his teeth, his ornaments, even the movements of his nostrils are being described here, all very, very beautiful. But signaling what to Hiranyakashipu? Signaling death. Now we see, devotees see, a picture of Lord Nrsingadev, and they think, oh, very beautiful. And you go somewhere and 6-armed Nrsinga, or 14-armed or 16-armed Narasimha, and all these weapons, and tearing Hiranyakashipu, and we say what? Beautiful deity, beautiful deity. Well, if you're not a devotee, you don't see that beauty. You go, oh my God, look at that, that's horrible. And the reason is, because in the, what do they call it, the psychological realm, if you're not devotee, you identify with the guy laying there getting his intestines pulled out, so you immediately think, oh, that's horrible. In New Jersey, there's a place near New York City, there was a temple there once, Vishnu Maharaj and I were there, and there are all these pictures in the hallway, and one Sunday, there was a man and his little girl, about 8 years old. They're walking, he's holding her hand, they're walking down the hallway, and they're looking at these different pictures, right? And it's Krishna's pastimes, and Agasura, and just different pastimes. And I just happened to be going in a room, unlocking a door or something, and the little girl looked on the other side of the hall, which is just, a few feet away. Father's looking this way. She looked at it, and then she pulled her father's hand, she goes, look, Daddy. And it was very nice, sweet child's voice. Look, Daddy. Lord Nrsingadev is killing Hiranyakashipu. And she was totally in bliss. Like, look, he's doing it. He's ripping him up. You know what I'm saying? And, a couple years before, some court case was there in USA, and they brought this picture of Lord Nrsingadev pulling out the intestine of Hiranyakashipu, and they said to the judge, just see! They teach their children to pray to God to kill their father. And everybody in the court's like, so horrified. There's a courtroom full of demons, or at least ignorant people, if not demons. But the little girl was pious. She was from a Hindu family who was into Krishna consciousness. And when she saw this ghastly form of Nrsingadev ripping out the intestines of Hiranyakashipu, she thought it was great. The demon's being killed. Look, Krishna's taking this form and he's killing this demon. No fear. Somebody else, it was Jayadev, was selling his house or something once. So some people came over to see the house or something in his world there many years ago. And so the broker came over, some people to show the house, when there was a picture of Nrsingadev on the house, and the people were just shocked. this horrible scene. And it was in the children's room. So they're putting it in their children's room to protect their children from the demons and the ghost and everything like that, right? But when you are a demon and a ghost, that picture does not look like it's protecting you. It looks like it's killing you. See? But what do we see? We see that we're not afraid. We don't get afraid. Sometimes I think, some people, they come in front of Narasimha and then they show great, Narasimha, and they do this kind of thing like this, pull the ear. I was thinking the pujari should go. The pujari should stand, and when the people go like this, the pujari should go. Give this mudra, right? You'll be done. Because mostly they're doing nonsense, right? They're doing nonsense, but then they're showing some fear. Well, showing your fear is not enough. No, that doesn't work. That's a waste of time. You should show your obedience, and don't really be a fool. We don't bring fools in front of God. God's no interest in the fools. So if you go like this, oh, I'm a fool, and come back next week, I'm still a fool. Get out, you fool. God, what interest God has in fools? So all over, people are not preaching. You got jeers, tons of them, I don't know what individually, but overall, when you say Brahmin, sure, no Brahmins are preaching. Nobody is preaching. And therefore, people's even way of approaching God and what they're in front of the deity for and why a temple exists and everything, it's just all floating off on the waves of materialism. You see? Floating off on the waves of materialism. So when that happens, what happens? Here, well, that's a great fortune. Hiranyakashipu had a darshan of Lord Narasimha. Wow. Of course, probably we wouldn't want to have the darshan in the same way, but I mean, that's an immediate resolve to the problem. But that doesn't happen all the time. But the Supreme Lord does snap people out of their deep sleep of ignorance in different ways. In Kali Yuga, though, it is said the Lord comes as the holy name. The avatar of Kali Yuga is the holy name. So if we want to fight ignorance, we want to fight demons, then propagate the holy name of Krishna. This is how it is done, you see. But then there are things that happen in the world also. The world purifies itself of these demons. And demons attack demons, and demons kill demons, and these things go on. Thereafter, the great demon Hiranyakashipu, who was extremely angry, swiftly attacked Lord Narasimha with his club and began to beat him. Lord Narasimha, however, captured the great demon along with his club, just as Garuda might capture a great snake. So, basically, this is then just sport for Lord Vishnu at this time. There's no... And sometimes, actually it happened here, the fighting's going on, and every once in a while, well then when that happened, all the demigods came down because, Hiranyakashipu was a problem. He had already taken the throne of Indra. So everybody's coming around, and they're not knowing who this is, actually. They're not sure who this character is, this half man, half lion, what's going on here. But they're seeing, he's killing Narasimha, huh? I mean, sorry, they see, he's killing then it's, no, there's the half man, half lion, he's killing Hiranyakashipu, and then they start cheering on, huh? And then Hiranyakashipu, he escapes, and they think, he's going to live, and we'll be done again, huh? They're very fearful, and they don't know at that time, they don't know who Lord Narasimha is, and they're fearful. And so he attacks Lord Narasimha, Narasimha catches him, Hiranyakashipu escapes, it looks like he's going to get away, then he gets back on, looks like he's going to kill Narasimha, it's back and forth like this. This is all the play. At any time, Lord Narasimha can just kill him. He doesn't have to even touch him. He doesn't even have to think, he can automatically dispose of him. If God wants, he can just evaporate him into water if he wants. Where's the fun? Huh? He enters the field. It's all about fun, really, in the end. Leela, pastimes, exerting his showing his strength, saving his devotee, destroying evil, all these chivalrous Vira Narasimha, chivalrous. Christian concept of God is he's some old guy with false teeth who sits on a big rock-hard chair. I mean, he doesn't even have cushions. He just sits on a stone chair and drops people into pots of boiling oil. Those are the ones that didn't believe in him. And the other ones, I don't know, where has he got them? Out by the swimming pool with Jesus serving lemonade. A very, very undefined, very, very undefined concept of God. What they call the pagan concept of God in Western countries was so much more defined because the gods had paraphernalia. The gods had an entourage. I mean, some of them had, 12 disciples, and some of them had mothers and fathers. But that's a more complete picture of God. The Christian concept of God is very, very narrow. There's no entourage. There isn't anything of note, anything of detail. Of course, they've tried to make a few things. Also, he had a mother, a virgin mother, and a few things like this. But when you come to Krishna consciousness, there's no comparison. I mean, Prabhupada used to say, they have some vague idea of what is God. We are even giving his name and phone number and address. Means we're giving such a complete picture. They're simply telling God is great, and we're telling how great he is, how many different things he has done. They say God created the world, and they tell something like 7 days, they give a little description. We're giving Sankhya philosophy, right down to each element and atom, how it came into existence, and the senses and sense perception, and the whole world. No comparison, actually. No comparison whatsoever. So, then seeing the distraught position of the demigods, this battle went on for some time. This wasn't a 5-minute fight. This battle raged on for some time. I don't know exactly. Maybe it will be mentioned here. Then finally seeing the distress of the demigods, they're winning, they're losing, they're winning, they're losing, then Lord Nrsingadev decided to close the pastime. And he just pulled this Hiranyakashipu to his lap and pulled him off the earth and out of the sky and out of the water and onto the Lord's lap. At that just moment between, it was dusk, right? Between day and night, right on that, it is neither day, it is neither night. Pulled him right on that time. And he's half man, half beast, not man or beast. He's half and half. And without any weapon, without Sudarshan, with his nails, he just dug in. Oh. And probably Hiranyakashipu, he's eating very nice in those days, living in the palace of Indra, so he probably had a nice little plump gut. Just dug in like a watermelon, squish, and pulled it all out, right? And garlanded himself. You see the cats. Sometimes you just see a cat, it's like, but stop. Sometimes you see the cat has a mouse, how they'll play with it, how they'll almost be vicious with the thing. They'll play with the thing, and then at a point they'll just go, just close. But they'll play. So the Lord played with Hiranyakashipu. It says, like a cat played with a mouse, or like Garuda plays with a snake. And then he just finished the thing. And his roar was so, it was unbearable. People were thinking, demigods are thinking, the universe is coming to an end. It roars, such a roar. And everyone was afraid. No one could step forward. No one could step forward. Now we see, if you see, Ugra Nrsinga, there is a certain thing. Oh, Ugra Nrsinga, there was a, Ugra. Is it Ugra Shaligram? Ugra, it's just like this. Yeah, Lord Nrsinga is in his most fierce form. But in that most fierce form, how to approach? How to approach him? When God is roaring like a lion and his voice can be heard across the 3 universes, 3 worlds, how you approach him and who you think you are. When Brahma, Narada is standing back, Shiva, he can roar, he can make a noise, he can bring down, some devastation. In fact, he can just about destroy the universe. He's standing back. He's like, I'm not going for it. Nobody to go for it. Then Prahlad. They reasoned he came to save Prahlad, so Prahlad must be something special. Prahlad must be his devotee. And gradually they realized who this is, and that this is their Lord Vishnu, and fulfilling his promise to always protect his devotees. And then Prahlad comes forward. Prahlad comes forward to offer a garland. And then seeing Prahlad, then Lord Nrsingadev, he calms down, becomes very, very peaceful. So I've seen some nice paintings. There's a lot of the Ugra Nrsinga paintings around here and there. Here,
Yes.
he's giving like a sidelong glance, right? He's got Lord Nrsingadev, he's got Hiranyakashipu over here taking care of business, but he's giving nice glance to Prahlad here. Yeah, giving nice glance. I've seen some others like this in different styles. And very nice, like, I don't want to say pussy cat, but very nice, smiling, pleasing cat face, like very nice, and looking Prahlad with a nice round face. You know, artist. What does Nrsingadev look like? He looks exactly like a half man and a half lion. What does a lion look like? A lion looks like a lion. Then you have Mysore lion, you have Chola lion, you have all Rajasthani lion, all kind of lion. But really, what does a lion look like? That's what he looked like. Not tiger, lion. He looked like a lion, half the head of a lion. And some old pictures and people, they actually paint like that. Full clear like lion. I've seen one or two, right? We have some one or two. But anyway, don't trust the artist. Now the question comes, in Vaikuntha, does Vishnu, Narasimha, have this face of a lion? The answer is no. He doesn't. He has the mood, Narasimha. But in all Vaikuntha planets, Vishnu looks the same. Four-armed Vishnu. And his complexion is the same. In all Vaikuntha planets. It's not that one place, look, he's sitting on the throne as a fish, like our, Purana, but he's got 4 arms and fish. Or in another place, he's sitting in Vaikuntha and Lakshmi is there and he's a turtle. Or in another place, he's a pig. There was this one. Now, how you can talk about God as a pig, as a lion, as all these things. Because to hear about the Lord, we have to have our mind out from the material world. And only faith is the fuel to get the mind out from the material world. So because we have faith in God, in Krishna, and in Vishnu, then if we hear he became a boar or he became a lion, it's not like, oh, wait a minute, how did he become a lion? And you see many people in religions in the world, they tell some faith, but then when there's something about God and his one, amazing, then they're, I don't know about that. They can't believe it. They don't know, no, that's not possible. Because they have no faith. And they think of it in a material way, you see. I mean, how can a man become half a lion? You see, that's not possible. So I'm going to just tell this one story. It's kind of humorous. This Varaha also? No. Varaha was in another chapter. But the devotees were selling books in the airport, and they're showing the pictures to sell the books. And in that particular book the devotee was selling, they were showing, oh, here's that one, Prahlad, very smiling. Yeah. But the book they were showing had Varaha. And Varaha is fighting Hiranyaksha. And Hiranyaksha has got nice white hair, he looks like a king, he's got some Roman armbands, he's got his dhoti, and he's got his belt, and he's got his weapons, and he's fighting Varaha, who's a boar. I mean, boar means pig, and he's kind of red with a big nose and his little feet, and he's fighting, right? So the devotee is selling this book to a man, and he's telling him, this is about God destroying evil, and goodness is prevailing in the world, and like the good-evil story, and the evil is destroyed, and the good is winning. And he chipped the picture, and the man looked, he said, why is God fighting a pig? So that's the Michelangelo conception of God. He's got white hair, he's got big arms, he wears an armband, and to that man, Hiranyaksha looked like God. And the devotee said, no, God is the pig. So that's impossible. And that's what happened part of what happened when people came from the West two centuries ago and plunged into India And they were told, yeah, God is the pig, God is the fish, God. And they were just like, they just couldn't take it. So you have to come down. First, what you are, what you are not. You are spirit, soul, Atma, consciousness. You're not this body, you know. What is super soul? Param Atma. And gradually accumulate a database of transcendental knowledge. Then we can begin to understand and accept Leela, even of Vishnu. Otherwise, how you accept Vishnu's Leela? And 4 arms? How it's possible? How it's possible? So much doubt will be there. So, also here, yeah, I just remembered, not only did Lord Nrsingadev destroy Hiranyakashipu, he destroyed the armies of the demons also. There's a nice picture, he's doing that also. So not only the king of the demons, but the demons' armies himself. And reestablishing his devotees. And here, look, in this one, Lord Shiva is there, Lord Brahma is there. Only Prahlad goes forward. Bhakta Prahlad ki jai, Shri Nrsingadev Bhagavan ki jai, Gop Premanandi
Guru Maharaj ki jai.
Namaste Narasimhaya. Prahlada Lada Dayine, Prahlada Lada Dayine, Hiranyakashi Purvakshaha, Hiranyakashi Purvakshaha, Shilatankanakalaye, Shilatankanakalaye, Ito Nrsimha Parato Nrsimha, Ito Nrsimha Parato Nrsimha, Yato Yato Yamitato Nrsimha, Yato Yato Yamitato Nrsimha, Bahe Nrsimha Hridaye Nrsimha, Bahe Nrsimha Hridaye Nrsimha, Narasingamadim Sharanam Prapade, Narasingamadim Sharanam Prapade, Avakara Kamalavare Nakam Adbhuta Shringam, Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanubringam, Keshavadrita Naraha